Joseph Theory's right hand was cut off at the wrist by a chaff cutter, having thought he had turned it off. Until then, never in Kenya, in south of the Sahara, and indeed in some other countries in the world, with the exception of South Africa, that is in south of the Sahara, has had a limb been reattached successfully after such accidents.
Nimeamka vizuri tu nikawa nafanya kazi zangu. Hii nikaa nimeenda kuna ile mashine ya kukatia ng'ombe. Yes. Nikaa naipanguza. Hasa nilipokuwa naipanguza mkono ulikuwa ndani ikajiwasha. Mkono ukakatika. Mkono ilikatika yote ikawa imeenda kando. Ilitoka kadondoka kabisa. Kulikuwa na msichana kwa nyumba akafunga mkono ile kitambaa cha mezani. Damu zikawa zinaendelea kutoka, nikakimbia njiani kuomba msaada. Kabla hatujafika hospitali tulienda mbali kidogo. Huyo kaka ndo akakumbuka mkono hatujauchukua.
Nikaona mkono hakuna. Ndio kidogo nikamuuliza mkono uko wapi, akaniambia mkono umepaki kule kwa ng'ombe. Kuenda kule kuangalia kwa ng'ombe, nikapata mkono, nikaiokota mkono, nikaileta mkono. Nileta mkono, watu wakawa wanahuzunika sana, mkono iko kando na hiyo ingine iko kando. Tukaibebea kwenye karatasi, tukaipeleka hospitali.
But Theory's limb was reimplanted and successfully so at the Kenyatta National Hospital, accomplishing a major medical milestone for Kenya. Professor Stanley Hainga was a lead doctor in this delicate 7-hour surgery and now joins us in studio. He is also plastic surgery, head of plastic and reconstructive surgery at the University of Nairobi and chair Kenya Society of Plastic, Reconstructive and Aesthetic Surgeons. He's on my far left. On my immediate left is Dr. Alex Okello. Also part of this is a plastic surgery registrar. Thank you both for making time for us this evening, and congratulations on this accomplishment. It sounds or may sound simple when it is reported that somebody's limb was just reattached. Very briefly, how difficult was this process? What did it really take? I'll start with you, Professor Hainga.
Well, Hussein, this is a delicate surgery, and it has to involve teams. The moment Dr. Okello was the first one to be in contact with the patient, the moment he got this information, he called me. I was the doctor on call, and immediately I mobilized my team, the microvascular team. It involves surgeons, nurses, and anesthetists.
Okay.
And we had to get the patient to theater because the moment I got information, I informed Dr. Okello to mobilize theater.
Yeah.
So that by the time the patient arrived, we wanted 3 hours already to have started reimplanting the finger, the hand, because we really wanted to reduce ischemic time. Because by the time he arrived, he had spent out there 5 hours.
Since the accident?
Since the accident, yes.
Okay, and it's good you mentioned Dr. Okello was the first one to respond. Abdallah Mdambo on Twitter actually says, let's not forget that it's true. Let's not forget where the whole story started with a doctor at Kiambu Level 5 whose quick action of preserving the hand in ice ensured it remained viable as the patient was transferred to KNH for surgery. Then it came to you.
Definitely.
Yes.
We really have to thank the medical personnel and the doctors in Kiambu. They did the right thing. They stored the hand in the appropriate way, putting it in a cloth, in a plastic bag, and placing it in a cool box, which is really readily available in any health center in this country. And that is how it should be stored. And it was quickly brought to us. So from the point of contact, the key issue is preparation and mobilizing the appropriate team. So once we did that, we even found the specialists, Professor Hainga, Dr. Nangole, were already waiting in theater, waiting for us to get there with the boy. So by the time we were actually repairing the vessels, returning the circulation back to the hand, it was actually at 13 hours. That's even 1 hour beyond whatever is recommended.
Right.
Yeah.
So how important is this preservation, and what is the time period that is given?
Well, it's extremely important that it is not placed in direct contact with ice.
With ice?
No direct contact. You wrap it in a piece of cloth, place it in a bag, put it in water that has some ice. no direct contact.
Okay.
If you put it directly, it injures the vessels.
Right.
And you really have a hard time dealing with it.
Okay, let's try and go to the specifics without technicalities.
Yes.
What exactly did it entail? You're talking about vessels. It wasn't just returning the limb. It was a delicate process, isn't it? What did it entail?
First of all, the doctors in Kiambu did some good job. They prolonged the ischemic time so that by the time we were replanting this limb, the death of cells had been delayed. It involves two teams. One team, which was led by Dr. Nangole, was handling the hand, identifying the structures, because you really have to identify the arteries, the veins, the nerves, and the tendons. And then I was dealing with the stump, doing the same job, identifying the nerves, vessels, tendons, because once you start anastomosing, it must be very, very meticulous and flawless, so that immediately you anastomose the arteries, blood starts flowing in the hand.
Okay, excuse my ignorance here. You're talking about vessels, you're talking about veins, nerves. Are you talking, what number? And it's one by one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
You must tag the arteries, both in the hand and in the stump, because the arteries are the ones that take blood into the tissues, oxygenated blood with the nutrients. Then the veins have to take away the blood with toxins, without oxygen, back to the heart and the lungs for oxygenation. So this has to be done. We do the arteries first because we want oxygen and nutrients into the amputated hand. So that's what we started with. Yes.
Okay, and what is the danger in getting one nerve wrong or one vein wrong or one?
We are really trained. We identify these things. We know the anatomy. There's no reason why we should make that mistake. We are experts in that area.
And yet this was the first time this has happened in this country, meaning there have been attempts before, I presume, and they didn't work? Or what happened exactly?
In the 1990s, when I was a postgraduate student like Okello here, there was an attempt of doing a similar operation, but I don't think they did it the right way because of lack of capacity. I don't think they anastomosed the vessels the way it should. And within 3 days, the limb was dead.
Okay.
Yes.
Again, this is, from speaking to both of you, you're saying this has never happened south of the Sahara, with the exception of South Africa, maybe, and some countries actually in the world. You actually mentioned even South Korea.
Well, today we were operating with surgeons from South Korea in Kenyatta doing cleft lip pallets, and they told me they have never experienced that. They had never performed a similar operation. So it's really a credit for us here to have done this procedure and salvage the limb of this, this young man.
And he's going to fully recover? He's going to function normally?
He's going to require what we call physiotherapy. So he'll need exercises continuously for about 3 to 6 months. And during that period, he'll be able to recover function in terms of his sensation, how he feels, and also improve in terms of how he can grasp and hold probably a pen and even a cup like you.
Okay.
Yes.
And I mean, how many people, Professor, do you think have lost limbs in accidents in this country and could have been saved? And what were the challenges? And even going forward, I don't want to sound like a prophet of doom, but accidents still happen. The question is, how soon can what you have done be replicated all over this country? Do we have the right facilities? Do we have enough capacity in terms of doctors who know how to do this?
Hussein, many of these accidents occur. Most of them are due to assault and industrial accidents. If you are from regions in Western region, Kisii, Meru, most of them are from assaults. If you are from towns, cities, and so on, they are because of industrial accidents. And the sooner the limb and the patient are brought to a trauma center with microvascular surgery, the better.
The better.
Because then the chances of success are very high. The only trauma center with a microvascular team that is readily available 24 hours in Kenya is at Kenyatta National Hospital, Nairobi University. So we have two qualified and competent microvascular surgeons, myself and Dr. Nangole, and we are in the process of training more so that when these accidents occur, even the surgeons themselves could be transported to the site of injury.
We have two, you said, in this country, you and
Dr. Nangole, the
who
one
is also
who
part of
operating.
this, isn't
yes,
it?
part of the team.
Meaning only you two can lead a team together with, of course, assistance from all the rest to do such a thing.
Exactly.
In the whole of this country.
In the whole of this country.
So if you are engaged, nobody else can be able to do such a thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, there will be a problem, and that's why it's important to build capacity. And that's why we have a postgraduate program at Nairobi University.
Where Dr. Kello
Yes, where Dr. Kello is, and he was part of the team, is getting the feel of it now. Yes.
Why do you think we don't have so many doctors? Maybe you can tell us why you are interested in this yourself, but let me start with you.
I think it's policy. The policymakers have never known the role of plastic surgery. Plastic surgery is a field that attends to human beings from the head to toe. So we really operate in all spheres, and we assist other surgeons in the areas apart from our line of work. This patient had been referred to the cardiothoracic unit, which deals with the chest and big vessels.
Yeah.
If Dr. Kello had not been in casualty to immediately identify that this is a patient who should be attended to by plastic surgeons, we would have had big delays, and maybe the young man will have lost his limb.
Dr. Kello.
Well, in terms of building capacity, we really have to give credit to Professor Hayenga and the University of Nairobi.
Right.
Myself, I'm a member of staff of KNH. So in this perspective, they're building capacity even for KNH, which currently has only 3 plastic surgeons. One of whom is the Director of Clinical Services. So you can see
the problem
challenge, where it is.
Yeah.
But in terms of the field of plastic surgery, it's quite challenging. I believe even yourself, when you think of plastic surgeons, who do you remember? Burns. That's the only thing you remember. You've never thought about breast reconstruction, probably after you've had a tumor removed of the breast. We do that. We do a lot more. All these anomalies and deformities in children, in adults. So it's quite wide and quite intense.
Right.
And I think we have to give credit to Kenya. You need to trust your system. If we're able to do this here now, what happens if you put in all the resources in the people you have now?
And that was going to be my next question, because many are talking about why it is important to trust Kenyan doctors, and this is again an incredible achievement and testimony that Kenyan doctors are capable of doing so many things, that we see patients going abroad seeking medical services. But you're talking about capacity being a challenge. Now you're talking about 2 doctors only who can do this. And in terms of resources and equipment, for example, in what you're doing now in school, the equipment, do you think we have enough, and what needs to be done?
We really don't have adequate equipment. For example, the microvascular sets that we use are personal.
Personal?
Yes, Dr. Nangole has his set and I have mine. That's why we were able to simultaneously operate on this patient.
Okay, the ones that you used during this surgery?
We bought ourselves.
So meaning if you didn't have them,
if we didn't have them, we
would not have done this.
We wouldn't have done this.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So we try to invest in generating knowledge, because if we waited for the policymakers to do these things, then we wouldn't move, and we wouldn't be able to train. So we hope in future they will wake up and equip the necessary facilities, generate capacity, and enable us to train. Like to train a microvascular surgeon, we need to start in the lab. And we are still struggling to put one in Chiromo through the Nairobi University. We are still trying to move a microscope from Kenyatta. which we may start using towards the end of the year to start training these young doctors in microvascular surgery, so that they are able to transfer the skills from rats now to human beings, because you can't just allow them to start handling human tissues before they are well grounded.
Right.
Yes.
Your final words, maybe, Dr. Kello also today.
Final words. This is a message to all industries. These accidents are happening. You can access school boxes at the nearest government health center. It's what they use to give vaccines. Get the patient, get the part to KNH. Even if it's 24 hours, we'll give it a shot. We are there, and that's why we have been trained for this.
Okay.
Yes.
Professor Kainga, your final words, and how long do you think it's going to take Theory now to recover? Based on yourself,
I think Dr. Kello has said what I would have said. Awareness is really important. The employers in the industries must not discard the tissues that have been amputated, and villagers should not organize burial ceremonies for these tissues. They should bring them quickly to where they can be salvaged, and these patients would get benefit. Theory will take 3 months to gain 90% of his function. So we are 100% sure, because this procedure we did 3 weeks ago, and every day he gains, he makes progress.
All right. Is there any other thing or feat you think you have accomplished, for example, you think hasn't been covered in your experience, or what else can be done and you think you need more resources to do, or more awareness to be so that you're going to be able to do that?
We do a lot of things. We do a lot of cancer reconstruction, and nobody really knows. The biggest center for head and neck tumors is in Kenyatta. It's a multidisciplinary unit. Of course, I also chair it. It involves the ENT surgeon, plastic surgeons, and maxillofacial surgeons. And it's the center, the referral center for the whole country. There's the area of aesthetic surgery, which is a big area, but covers about 10% of what plastic surgeons do. This is an area we are developing, and we need to make our Kenyan ladies look beautiful, our Kenyan men look beautiful. We do hair transplant. We have a clinic where the residents are rotating. We train them to do hair transplant. If you are balding, we can still restore you the way Rooney looks. So we can do all these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Professor Kainga, Stanley Kainga is the head plastic and reconstructive surgery at the University of Nairobi, and also chair of the Kenya Society of Plastic, Reconstructive and Aesthetic Surgeons, and Dr. Alex Okello, plastic surgery registrar, and also a fourth-year student at the University of Nairobi. Accomplished an incredible feat for Kenya. Thank you so much for making time for us, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Once again. Of course, quick recovery to Joseph Theory. After this break, of course, we'll learn more about Sabrina Wanjiku's rare ambition for Kenya as she takes